Info Plus for genuine information.
Namaste and welcome to the program Info Plus on Himalayan TV with me, your host Terai. Today we are honored to speak with His Excellency Reuben Gauci, High Commissioner of Malta to Nepal, based in New Delhi. Thank you, Excellency.
Please,
thank you so much for welcoming us. His Excellency Reuben Gauci is Malta's non-resident ambassador to Nepal, working to strengthen the long-standing diplomatic ties between the two nations. Yeah, black coffee also.
Black coffee.
Yes.
So, when I was last in Nepal in September, I bought Nepalese coffee from the Himalayas.
World famous, yeah.
And I gave it to the office of the Prime Minister.
Oh, okay. Malta and Nepal established diplomatic relations in 1983, fostering cooperation in trade, education, and cultural exchange. Ambassador Gauci plays a vital role in expanding these partnerships.
Plus for genuine information.
Namaste, Excellency.
Namaste.
And
Merhaba.
Welcome to the show Info Plus on Himalayan TV, a series, a diploma series which has been running since 20 years and on a leading television platform, Himalayan Television. And we are feeling very privileged and honored to have you here on our show, and thank you so much for welcoming us here at Malta Embassy in New Delhi.
Thank you very much.
For the second time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's my real pleasure to welcome you here. We've become very much acquainted now.
Yes.
We can say we've become friends.
Exactly.
Because as you rightly pointed out, I welcomed you here at the Malta High Commission in New Delhi, which also serves as the Malta Embassy for Nepal, but from here, from New Delhi. I also had the privilege to meet you when I was in Nepal in September 2024.
Yes.
So twice here in Delhi and once in Kathmandu. It is my greatest privilege to be in your company again.
You. As I mentioned, you recently visited Nepal in last September 2024
yes.
during 45th anniversary
That's
of
right.
diplomatic relationship between Malta and
Nepal, yes.
And Vice President of Nepal gracefully presented the event, giving high value to the relationship between Malta and Nepal. I would like to begin with an impression towards Nepal and vision to make this relationship more impactful in the coming years.
Well, as we already spoke in previous interviews, I believe that the Malta-Nepal relations need to become stronger. Obviously, there is the geographical distance between Malta and Nepal. There are also geographical differences. Malta is an island, Nepal is a landlocked country in the mountains, which would obviously make peoples from both sides look with interest to the other country. Like, for instance, Maltese are interested in the mountains because we don't have them. Nepalese may be interested in the sea because you don't have sea. And obviously, this mutual interest in each other's countries could be a good help to further enhance our relations. As I mentioned in previous interviews, we have a sizable Nepalese community in Malta, which, if you think of it, is quite large when you compare to the population of the country. The population of Malta is 500,000, and the number of Nepalese nationals, I believe, is around 7,000 working in Malta. We have, obviously, we don't have a Maltese community in Nepal. We have some individuals, but not a large community. But what I would like to work on is tourism. To have Nepalese visiting Malta, and to have Maltese visiting Nepal. At the moment, the Ministry for Foreign Affairs has become, of Malta, has become also the Ministry of Tourism. So tourism is part of the portfolio of the ministry, which, you know, governs the embassies, etc., etc. So obviously, thinking of tourism now is an even stronger urge. And so, as I said, I would really like to see in the future to have more Nepalese tourists visiting Malta. As you know, we already have the High Commission of Malta in India is accredited to the VFS in Kathmandu. So the structures for visa application are there. And also, I would like to see more Maltese visiting Nepal.
As you mentioned about tourism,
yes,
Malta is also a very beautiful country,
yes.
Nepal is also very beautiful in terms of culture and heritage, and it's naturally so beautiful. As the ambassador of Malta to Nepal, are you giving some initiation to boost the tourism between Malta and Nepal?
Yes, we are working through our honorary consul in Kathmandu to promote Malta more. So at the moment, I have instructed our honorary consul in Kathmandu to promote Malta to promote more, because he's been doing it for a very long time, but to further promote Malta as a tourist destination, and I know that he's already doing a good job in promoting Malta as a tourist destination in Kathmandu. Also, I know that the Nepalese embassy and also the honorary consul of Nepal in Malta are doing the same in promoting Nepal as an interesting and as a beautiful destination, as you mentioned. So yes, the impetus is there. Now we have to see the numbers. Now we have to see the results. And, you know, I'm sure there will be. Obviously, you have to keep in mind that the Maltese population is 500,000. So even if you have a good number of Maltese visiting Nepal, you will not be seeing Maltese everywhere. You know, I mean, like it happens with larger countries where you can feel the presence in the country on a large scale. I mean, so if we have a number, you know, I don't know, 500 or 600 Maltese, say, visiting Nepal, that would be a good number for our population of 500,000. But you may say, but I am not seeing Maltese in Nepal, you know. Obviously, you have to keep that in mind. But definitely, we are trying our best to both promote Malta and Nepal, and the other way around, Nepal for the Maltese tourists.
Your Excellency, you have considerably spent time both in Malta and Nepal. Could you share any personal experience or unique observation about the relationship between two countries, and what have you marked the areas of cooperation and collaboration in the future between two nations?
Well, as you know, I've been a resident in Delhi for the past 4.5 years now. And during this period, I had the opportunity to visit Nepal a number of times, and I am also planning to visit Nepal in the very near future, so as to keep on track our bilateral relations and our possibility of cooperation. At the moment, I think cooperating on enhancing tourism is probably the most tangible, as we were saying, as I was saying in my past answers to your question. But not only we cooperate with Nepal, for instance, at the UN, especially on subjects like climate change, because even though Malta is an island and Nepal is landlocked, climate change affects us differently, but nonetheless it does. For instance, in the case of Malta, the problem with climate change is that the sea levels go high, and that could, you know, create problems for an island. On the other hand, in the case of Nepal, if water, you know, if ice and snow melts, that could create, you know, problems like, you know, like if you have the water which is melting on a mountain, that could create a flood in villages like Nepal. So Malta and Nepal are cooperating at UN level on the climate on the subject of climate change. Now, in relation to trade, at the moment it's not that much. We should look at it more. You know, like Malta exporting to Nepal, like for instance, here in India we have been importing Maltese products since 2022, and I was thinking of having the same imports which are coming here to India, also Maltese products, also to Nepal. But it's not easy, to be honest with you. The laws, etc., etc. If I may say so, importing to Nepal is not easy. But we're looking at that. In the case of Malta, if you want to export, say, from Nepal to Malta, obviously there are the rules and regulations. We are also part of the European Union, so obviously you have to look at that as well. So at the moment, unfortunately, trade in part between Malta and Nepal is not that much. But as I said, cooperation on tourism, cooperation on subjects like climate change are there, and I'm sure they will continue.
Your Excellency, you are quite familiar face to our viewers since we have already taken interview with you.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes,
few times, and we have also already raised questions on various issues earlier. picking point about trade and economic, as you mentioned earlier, how do you assess the current trade relationship between Malta and Nepal? And are there any areas where you see this significant potential for growth?
Well, as I said, at the moment, there is much more to be desired in the case of trade relations between Malta and Nepal. I understand that it may not be easy. As I said, I've been trying to work on having Maltese products imported to Nepal, but at the moment I'm not finding importers who are that interested, also because of the rules and regulations, etc. So I am really working hard on this. In increasing trade to Nepal, especially in my case, since I represent Malta, to have Maltese products in Nepal, which I believe is a good market, 30 million people. Like for instance, here in India, we're importing Maltese beer. It's called Chisk. We're importing Maltese snacks called Vichis, Twisties in Malta. We are importing a Maltese energy drink, Go and Fun. I would like to see these same products go to Nepal and to, in order to increase the trade. But as I said, at the moment, it's not easy, and we're trying to work. I'm working with our honorary consul in Kathmandu. I even introduced the Indian importer to the honorary consul in Kathmandu in order to start something in Nepal, and it would be a great achievement for me to see the same products imported from Malta here in India also in Nepal. Obviously, imports of Nepalese products to Malta is more like the domain of the Nepalese embassy. I understand Nepal is accredited now from Spain. Nepal is accredited from Spain to Malta. But as I said, from my point of view, I'm really working hard on having Maltese products enter the Nepalese market.
Malta is known for its robust financial services sectors and strategic location in Mediterranean Sea. How do you think Malta businesses explore opportunities in Nepal, particularly in sectors like tourism, IT, and renewable energy? And also, are there any plans to facilitate trade delegations or bilateral agreements between Malta and Nepal in coming years?
Yes, there are.
Since we have a very long-term bilateral relationship.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, we are working on the possibility of having both trade delegations from Malta visiting Nepal, and also on having Nepalese trade delegations, businessmen visiting Malta. So to answer your question, yes, we are working. We are working on having such delegations. At the moment, we're not very successful. But I believe that once we have such delegations, both Maltese delegations visiting Nepal and the other way around, trade will increase. Trade will increase because both sides will see the potential. For instance, I can imagine more Nepalese tea being exported to Malta because Maltese love tea. And I understand that Nepal is one of the best countries in the world as far as the production of tea is concerned. Now, exporting Maltese products are already mentioned, and we can think of others. I mean, they don't have to be edible products or drinkable products. They can be anything. In our case in Malta, we do have our production, but as you rightly pointed out, our economy rests very much on tourism and on financial services. Now, that could be a possibility, say, of having Nepalese companies wanting to set up shop in the European Union and using Malta as their financial center. And obviously that will come out with possible visits of trade delegations, etc., and also investment. I mean, that would be interesting in having. It's not easy, as I said, in
so
having.
in which sector we can see lots of collaborations during the Terai Excellency
Well,
in coming years?
I think definitely IT.
IT.
You mentioned IT. We are already collaborating a lot with India as far as IT is concerned, and IT is the future, basically. So it is a subject on which really we can have a lot of collaboration, I believe. Also, financial services are generally speaking. So, like if you're setting up shop in anything, like if you have a pharmaceutical company, if you have a factory, if you have a whatever, you can always use Malta as your financial services center in any business activity which you are doing, be it IT or be it anything else.
So we believe Malta is more interested to collaborate in IT with Nepal?
I would think so, yes. We are looking at that possibility.
And we expect to see lots of progress in that sector.
I believe so, yes, I believe so.
Your Excellency, you recently visited Kumbh Mela, Prayagraj, and we could see excellencies from 73 different countries.
That's right, that's right.
How was the experience there? And Nepal has a strong ties with India from religious aspect as well. And as an ambassador based in New Delhi, how can Nepal take benefits in terms of making Nepal as a cultural tourism hub?
Right. So it was my greatest pleasure to visit Kumbh Mela.
Was it your first time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I understand that this year's Kumbh Mela was very unique because Kumbh Mela, I believe, takes place every 12 years.
Yes.
So I've been in India for 4.5 years, so it had to be the first.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, what this particular Kumbh Mela happens every 100 and what happened during this Kumbh Mela takes place every 144 years. So, and obviously, I could notice the religious fervor. I could notice the, religions usually give you that energy. Be it Catholicism, be it Hinduism, be it Islam, there is that energy behind a religion, the energy of belief. And obviously, in taking into account that Nepal is a Hindu country, is a Hindu majority country, like India, whatever I saw in the Kumbh Mela of this year, I could see that it goes beyond the borders of India to all Hindu believing countries, and obviously Nepal being top of the list. In fact, as I said, I was impressed by my colleague, the Nepalese ambassador, who was one of the ambassadors who dipped full in the river. I wanted to do so, but to be honest, I just dipped my feet, which was already for me, a lot. But there were a number of ambassadors who dipped themselves full in the river. I'm sure it was a very, very good experience for them. Also taking into account that these were like 3 rivers merging together, and so that's why also this is a rare occasion in the sense of whatever happened. I mean, as you know, what I could feel, as I said, is the energy behind the religion. I'm sure that a lot of Nepalese crossed to India to experience this. Now, you mentioned, if I understood you well, also the potential for tourism, in this sense, religious tourism. And I'm sure, for instance, that a lot of Nepalese came to India. That was a good opportunity, for India. But also, when one thinks that Nepal also has a lot of religious Hindu places, and also the birthplace of Buddha. I know that Hinduism and Buddhism are very near to each other. True. So even for Hindu people, say the birthplace of Lord Buddha is important for them as well. So I could see that interest also from an Indian perspective, and from a Maltese perspective, given these days of globalization, I know that there is a lot of interest in Malta on Hinduism and also on Buddhism. So this could also be an interest for my people to visit both India and also Nepal on the subject of religious tourism. Because finally, it is the energy which lies behind the religion.
True.
Like, you know, as I said before, Buddhism, Hinduism, Catholicism, Islam, etc., which brings people together, which elevates people's souls. And I could see this, I mean, in my participation in the Kumbh Mela, the elevation of people's souls.
The unity of the people.
Exactly, exactly. And, you know, literally the soul becomes exalted.
True.
The soul becomes embellished. The soul reaches up high, you know, and it's thanks to such festivals like Kumbh Mela.
So seems like you had a great time there.
Definitely, I would like to.
Time.
Yes, I would like to thank the Ministry of External Affairs of India, which organized this visit. So they were very nice. They got us a plane. So we boarded the plane in the morning. We went to Prayagraj. We spent a whole day there. This was the 1st of February 2025. And it was actually my wife's birthday.
Okay.
And she came with me. And she was very, very happy that she visited such a place on her birthday. Because finally, you know, as I said, exaltation of the soul, etc., etc. So she saw it as a great opportunity. And as I said, I would like to thank the Ministry of External Affairs of India for having taken us there. And yes, I did have a great time, because when the soul has a great time, then the body has a great time.
Your Excellency, do you have any future plans in the relationship between Nepal and Malta during your tenure?
Well, as I said, I've been here for 4.5 years, so I'm still looking forward to being in India, to being accredited to Nepal. Hopefully, in May 2025, I will be visiting Nepal again with the European Union ambassadors here in Delhi who are, like me, accredited to Nepal. And we are in quite a large number because most of the European Union ambassadors are accredited to Nepal from Delhi. And I believe that such a visit will once more bring us nearer to the country, something which I love to. I mean, I love visiting Nepal from India whenever I have the time. And, you know, I mean, once you visit the place, you know, ideas start coming. So we've spoken about trade, we've spoken about religious tourism, we've spoken about financial services, etc., etc. So I get also the opportunity to meet our hardworking honorary consul in Kathmandu, Minister Dinesh Resta, who, if I'm not mistaken, also brought me in contact with your very, very good selves. So yes, there is much planned for the future. And the fact that I am visiting Nepal relatively regularly here from Delhi, I'm sure that our relations will continue to become stronger.
Recently, the US government has changed. Has that impact in Malta's economy, Your Excellency?
Not really. I mean, you know, the Maltese economy is strong and resilient. So I don't see the fact that there was a change in presidency in the US in us being impacted in any way. I mean, obviously, you have to keep, we as a country, we're always abreast of what's happening. We are very, very mindful of what happens in the USA and of our bilateral relations with the USA. But I wouldn't say that there was, you know, a big shift as far as Malta's economy is concerned because of the change in presidency.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
And we wish you all the best for
Thank
the
you
good
so
works
much.
between Malta and Nepal.
Thank you so much.
We are so privileged and honored to have an interview here at Malta Embassy in New Delhi.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Info Plus for genuine information.
That brings us to the end of this special interview with His Excellency of Malta here at the Malta Embassy in New Delhi. Thank you for watching Info Plus on Himalayan TV with me, your host, Rebecca Chetri. Stay tuned and namaste.
Info Plus for genuine information.